Ningen Fushin. This is a little series that has both a manga and anime adaptation that I find myself kind of invested in, so let's go on and talk about it a little bit. But what is Ningen Fushin before we go in? Well, it's a series that follows the story of 4 adventurers who have all been betrayed in one form or another. And that's all there really is to it. It's just a fun little series, so let's go on and talk about the manga and anime adaptations of Ningen Fushin. And I'm not talking about the light novel, because I have not read that yet. And so when talking about Ningen Fushin, I believe it would be foolish not to talk about the art of the manga and the amazing animation of the anime. Reading this manga, I was very pleasantly surprised to see just how dynamic and well illustrated everything was. The comedic moments had comedic illustrations, and the serious intense moments had serious illustrations, and I found it all great, really. Easily the best part of the art, though, would be how my girl, Kuren, was illustrated. She's just too adorable, and I couldn't help but swoon at how she's drawn. Of course, all the other characters look great as well, all having at the very least passable designs, and nothing really looks out of place. However, although the art of this manga is great and I enjoyed it a lot, the animation, really sucks. There's not much else to say. The animation is just outright awful. They have a budget of maybe $2. I mean, there's nothing good visually about this anime, and it is horrendous to look at. I can't even try to defend it, it's that bad. And it's not like something like Run the Girlfriend Season 2, where even though the animation itself is rather lackluster, the style of the show is very, very good. The style of Ningen Fushin sucks. It looks awful. The anime is just one of the worst I've ever seen. But hey, the anime still has my girl Kuren, so who cares? Moving on from the art animation, the main cast characters, aside from this nobody, are pretty great as well. Nick, Tiana, Kuren are all very well characterized, and I think the relationships with one another are very well written and planned out. I think by far my favorite character is Kuren, but mainly because the other characters I don't believe have gotten their time to shine yet compared to her. I believe Kuren not only has my favorite backstory of the 4 main characters, but also gets really solid development and grows her relationships with the main party. I enjoy how she learns to trust her newfound party members and how protective she is of them. I also enjoy how she wishes to learn and grow as a character, showing that she's wishing to learn from her past mistakes, and it's really all great. It's nothing revolutionary, sure, but something I find very nice. Nick is also fine too, and I have no issue with him. But Tiana only got a little bit of development in the manga, and unfortunately, Zem didn't get any. Now, when talking about the anime's version of these characters, I think Kuren is still likable. I think Kuren has her great moments, and so does Nick. Nick has some moments, but Tiana gets her best moments cut from the anime. Zem has nothing still. The idol is a nothing character who somehow got a whole episode dedicated to her. The anime's characters are just really, really bad compared to the manga's adaptation of this series, and I can't really defend them. Even the antagonists of this series aren't that great in the manga, so when you go to the anime, I mean, you can just imagine how awful they are. But to not completely dog on the anime and just kind of praise the manga, I believe something that's good about both mediums of the series is that it's not very hard to get into. I think the series is just a really fun and easy time to have. You just have 4 pals growing together as adventurers, and it's just pretty fun. It's sort of similar to why I think that Yuru Camp is such a masterful series, because it's just plain simple fun. Now, this is not to say that there's not more to love about Yuru Camp, because there is, and this is not to say that Ningen Fushin is anywhere near the level of quality that is Yuru Camp, because it is not. But it is the reason why I found this series just pretty fun to go through. Even if the anime has a lot of issues, I think it's still pretty fun, and I can just sit back and enjoy it. Now, there's unfortunately one thing that I think is really unfortunate about the series, and that is that the manga serialization of this series ended right after I picked it up. Literally the day after I finished it. I just have to assume that this series isn't the most popular in the world, and it probably got axed. I've experienced a few mangas getting their runs cut short, and it always is a shame when it occurs, especially when I enjoy the manga. Thinking of you, tricks dedicated to witches, you're taken too soon. So learning that this manga ended, serialization did break my little heart, knowing that I'll be missing out on beautiful Kuren panels. So that's unfortunate, but from what we got, it is pretty good. And thankfully, at the time of recording, the anime adaptation of this series is still airing. Not thankfully though, I'm dumb and have not been able to work on this video, and now the anime has finished, so woohoo! Anyway, that's the video. I just wanted to make a quick little thing talking about this series that I'm having a fun time with. I like reading the manga a lot, and I do enjoy watching the anime weekly, even though I do have a lot of issues. Is it the best thing ever made? No, no way. Especially not the anime. I feel as if I could name dozens of series that does what Ningen Fushin does, but better. But hey, it's still pretty fun, and I think that's all that matters. And with all that out of the way, I hope you all found today's video watchable. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is, because I certainly do not know.